Tyler, the creator, is the artist whose work finally got me interested enough in music discussion and music reviews to start a Rate You Music account. I very vividly remember watching the Middle 8 video about Igor back in 2020 and just being amazed by how the concept of Igor, of this character, this world, this story, was executed in the context of the record. I have been following Tyler very closely since then. I was there for his 2021 album rollout, which was amazing. I still enjoy that album a whole lot, and between then and now, I've made myself extremely familiar with the rest of his discography. When this album was announced, it kind of felt like it was going to be a different experience from Tyler's previous albums. Believe it or not, before any teasers came out, I genuinely thought that Tyler was going to go into a more polished, neo-soul direction, sort of reminiscent of like Spread Your Wings or Igor, which is something that he has mentioned wanting to do for a long time. But I was surprised when suddenly the video for Saint Chroma, the opening track for Chromakopia, showed up in my recommended section on YouTube. It was this gritty, almost angry sounding but very energetic and passionate song that honestly couldn't be further from what I was expecting. And then subsequent teasers confused me even more because they felt so different from one another. It was clear that this was going to be a different experience from his more concept-oriented albums like Flower Boy, like Igor. Also, this is the first time Tyler has broken his 2-year release gap and 10th track two-parter traditions. Tyler has of course been teasing this change even before this album started rolling out. The track Sorry Not Sorry showed a Tyler with no outfit or costume on, killing all of his previous persona, which sort of signified Tyler changing his image, reducing it to a more accurate reflection of himself, which is exactly what Chromakopia is. Let's start with the songwriting, which is at its peak here. Tyler is incredible at expressing feelings and moods. Look at Noid, look at Darling I, look at Take Your Mask Off, Like Him. These are all bangers musically, but they're especially really good and memorable because of the songwriting that went into them. Also, the storytelling is on point as well on a lot of these songs. Just look at Hey Jane or Judge Judy, both of which feel like a punch to the gut, honestly, because they're so well written and so well executed. The production as well feels like a callback to previous eras. For example, the song Hey Jane has the production reminiscent of something that would probably land on like Bastard or Goblin. The song Noid, which has like the messy, buzzy production that is very reminiscent of what Tyler was doing in 2019 with Igor. Judge Judy could definitely have been on Cherry Bomb since the production very much has that vibe. You know, it kind of feels like a mix of edgy and homosexual. More often than not, though, the sung vocals on Judge Judy feel insufferable, and it really holds the track back from being one of my favorites. It's especially a shame since the story is written and presented so well. A song where the vocals are probably the best they've ever been on a Tyler project, though, is the song Like Him, which deals with his father, which I guess is also another callback to the pre-Cherry Bomb era where, you know, you had a lot of these songs where Tyler was talking about his father. But the aspect from which Tyler approaches the topic this time feels sort of like a bittersweet ending to the Tyler's father saga, if you could call it that, where this whole character Tyler is built up trying to depict his father as this like absent, cold-hearted person is just suddenly being destroyed in front of our eyes. I also love the mask theme that gets elaborated on during Take Your Mask Off. Mask themes have been present in Tyler's work since Goblin, if you would look at like the ski mask that he was wearing back then during that album's rollout. And they were most recently mentioned in Igor, I think, on the song Running Out of Time, where there's this lyric called Take Your Mask Off, which is literally what track 9 is called on Chromakopia, which is crazy. Flower Boy was also supposed to be the record where Tyler is unmasking, quote-unquote, for the first time in his discography. I also like how Saint Chroma, which is this masked character that Tyler plays during the record's rollout, literally represents a character that Tyler is playing. It's literally Tyler, the character, that is the character that Tyler is playing. Now, one could argue that this could be Tyler repeating himself, since Flower Boy was all about him taking his mask off and breaking free from his controversial persona, but this album still feels like a new era of Tyler for a few reasons. Number one, this record feels much cleaner, unlike the production on Tyler's previous projects, which I feel like because of that, some of the dreaminess that Tyler's music is known for is definitely lost on some of these songs. And number two, this record is far more versatile in its emotional expression. Sort of feels like Tyler's talking about whichever emotion he's going through at any given moment. And you would think that this would make for a more disjointed listen, but that's not the case at all, as this record is entertaining enough to where every new song is like a little surprise, and it keeps you engaged, it keeps you entertained, and also the transitions between tracks keep this experience very fluid. Overall, although this record doesn't really seem like Tyler reinventing himself a whole lot, it kind of feels like the definitive Tyler the Creator experience, where we're not only being shown Tyler's perspectives on various issues, but also shown through the varied production, pretty much everything that Tyler is capable of musically. It may not reach the highs of his previous few records, as there's no really strong concept tying a lot of these songs together, which, depending on a person, might even be a benefit of this project. It's still focused enough to make for a fun listening experience. I would give this album an 8.7 out of 10. It's still very good, very enjoyable. And thank you, Tyler, for giving us more, and I'll see you